The Talking Leeds Podcast with Arron Marshall and George Brook.
Welcome to Talking Leeds with myself, Arron Marshall, and goodbye, Daniel is with us today. No one and only Mr. George Brook. George is with us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, George. I know you're ready to rant about Mr. Farke, and we're going to open the floor because how many games does under pressure Farke have left? How many does Des? Do you like my German there? How many does you have left? George, it's been a difficult week, hasn't it, this week?
Well, good evening, and good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody watching as well. Good evening to you, mate. I'm okay, but frustrated with Leeds United. And like I said, I changed my name there to Goodbye. Goodbye, Daniel is my name now. No, it really is not. But we've had a really disappointing week. Farke's been speaking sadly again today. And I said to you guys, nobody wants to hear him speak. Why is he still taking these press conferences? We don't want to know. And like say, if you've got the opportunity, you might just catch a bit of it. And I did today. He's been talking drivel again, talking about all stats. Well, Daniel, we're 18th in the Premier League, mate. We've won one game in 6, and you're taking us right down to the Championship where you took us up from. So get gone.
You're right. You're absolutely right, George. You're absolutely right. And for once, I agree with you, George.
I just said to you, didn't I? And it took you a long time to come on my team, mate. I've been banging the drum since the start of the season.
Yeah, listen, he's finding it difficult at the moment, is Daniel, isn't he? And I think the final straw for me was Sunday. The Villa game. I know me and Jerry have talked about it already on the pods, but it just was awful. It was self-destruct mode in the second half, and Unai Emery masterclass, which I've said before. Unai Emery knows what to do. Quality, world-class coach. Outsmarted Daniel Farke. And he's still got this love affair with Brendan Aronson, which I still don't understand. And I think that is where the starting point for this pod must go, is Brendan Aronson, George, because for me, he's the most frustrating player Leeds United have ever had. He really is. And I don't know what Daniel sees in him. I don't get it. I really don't get it. He's got a real hold on him as Brendan over Daniel Farke. I don't know what it is. Do you?
Well, I must say, before I get to that, Alama could probably outsmart Daniel Farke in terms of tactical nous in the Premier League match. You know what I mean? So Unai Emery is a fantastic coach, but I do agree with you that it was very much self-destruct on Sunday. The second half was absolutely atrocious. It was a different team from the first half, who I actually thought we did play very, very well in the first half. It was a completely different team. It was combative. We were aggressive. We got the goal, which was a scrappy one. It was a bit lucky, but we got the goal and we managed to defend it well. But in answer to your question, Aaron, I don't know. I mean, I've seen, a couple of funny things online really recently. And, you can do, AI is good in parts, it's not in some parts, but I saw somebody, you can get these apps where you put two photos together and then they end up kissing and whatnot. Somebody had put it together with Aronson and Daniel Farke. I really don't understand the obsession with Aronson, particularly about playing him on the wing. I mean, if you're going to play him at all at this level, it's a 10 position, isn't it? Now, I've seen an interview with Brendan Aronson himself on an American podcast, and he was asked, what is your favourite position? What position do you actually play? And I don't think he could really answer it properly. And he probably doesn't know. Farke doesn't know. Why the hell are you playing him on the left or the right wing or whatever? It doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't, and I think when Dan James come on and Willie Gnonto come on, I think that pace from James, which clearly, obviously the goal chalked off, and James is involved with that. Gnonto, you had that little directness. You had two players in Willie and Dan who come in and challenge down those channels and have got pace. They've got a little bit of physicality in Gnonto as well. I just don't understand why he's not. I just don't get it. Brendan Aronson has got something over Daniel Farke. I have no idea what, but it is frustrating now. When he had a good game. What was the game? He had a brilliant game. And when was it? Was it this time?
I think it was the last. Was it the last one? Not the last one.
Not Forest, because it
no, it wasn't Forest. It were another match, wasn't it? That he West Ham. Sorry, where the
West Ham. Yeah, that's it.
Scored. Yeah. He scored, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he assisted the Nemecha goal at Forest as well. To be fair, but I think ultimately, I mean, King Lemon saying he ate a dump truck. I'm not surprised, mate. I mean, we're all at that level, aren't we? With this Leeds United team, just shoveling anything down his necks to get rid of the thought of the team. I mean, it's horrendous at the moment. And Brendan Aronson, I mean, okay, at the championship level, but he was all right, wasn't he? But that's probably his level. I think you can't, particularly if you're playing him on the wing. I mean, what are you doing? What needed to happen on whatever the heck of the game was, Aaron, Sunday, was, bin Aronson, put Dan James on, and put Willie Gnonto on as well.
And that's what, and I don't, there was a fan who approached the technical area. I don't, you do not do that, fans, Leeds United fans, any football fan should never go and approach a manager. But you could see people around from where I was sat in the Kop, they were, when the crowd starts saying make a sub,
I could hear it. Yeah,
you could hear it. It's clear as day. When the fans were saying that, they can see it. Why he couldn't see it, I have no idea. And it's incredibly frustrating, George, that we've got to this stage now where the 49ers are dead silent. They're not saying a word. You would have thought because of the crowd as well, George. And I know it's different when you're watching it on Sky. But the crowd on Sunday at the final whistle, it was very deflated. It was very, we've given up here.
Yeah.
It's not when you got I predict a riot on and you get all this, it's bouncing, and even if it's a defeat, you still clap them off. But fans were walking out dribs and drabs. It was awful. It was
that when it's getting to this stage, Aaron, and we've followed Leeds United for years, and it comes to this point. When it's come to the end of a tether with the manager. It just feels very much like this now. It's all doom and gloom. People are not happy, and they're starting to just almost accept that this is how it is, and it's not how it has to be. Daniel Farke can go, it can be rejuvenated, a win, bang, we're up, and a win at Ellen Road soon, and it gives us the confidence. And people are dribbling in, hi to Keyline and David Lofthouse says, the next 3 games are going to be miserable. Of course they are, David. What else is it going to be?
Let's jump into the comments. So, good evening to Jimbo as Sky Forster, but they keep trying, but we don't talk to him. Good evening, Ian, and Ryanair is clearly having Ryanair off. What a great name, Ryanair off. Do you like Ryanair?
KFC
Ryanair
is it tonight, Ryan?
KFC for you, fully loaded meal or something.
Do a veggie option.
So it's just doom and gloom at the moment for Leeds, isn't it? There's no real. I don't want to talk about the next 3 games because they're just awful. I might just switch off from Leeds over the next couple of weeks and just not even just hibernate, just hide away from watching any Premier League match of the day, etc. They've got Manchester City away on Saturday. I don't even want to know how I don't even want to predict it because it's just going to be awful. Chelsea midweek, and I don't even want to. Chelsea, by the way, it looked fab. I'm going to swear then. I will say fantastic midweek in the Champions League, and I know Liverpool, blah blah blah. They're out of form, but Leeds will not beat Liverpool at Ellen Road. If they do, I will eat a T-shirt live on this podcast.
Well, I think
I will eat my words, but it won't happen, and I don't care. It just won't happen. When Leeds are when somebody's out of form, the best team to play is Leeds United, and they'll sort it out. They'll give us a good hammering.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Man
I don't
City,
want to talk about them. I don't want to. It's just awful.
Man City have lost 2 in a row, obviously last night.
Yeah,
and then
listen,
against
that's
Newcastle.
fine, but they will give us the biggest hiding we have ever had. It will set Premier League records. It'll be more than 9-0.
We've already been
10.
beaten.
It'll be 11.
We've already been beaten 7-0 there a couple of years ago, weren't we?
Yeah, it'll be worse this time.
It'll probably be around that sort of scoreline because we're all envisioning it. I mean, to be quite honest with you, Arron, I hate to say this because it's our team and we don't want them to lose, but we kind of all are kind of hoping that they might do that because that might be the only case where the 49ers might go, right, you're done right now.
But the 49ers, I don't think they're smart people. They'll go, well, Leeds aren't supposed to beat Manchester City at the Etihad. Leeds aren't supposed to beat Chelsea at home or Liverpool at home because they're too good. They might think that and think, sod it, we'll just wait till Brentford and might have a shot. But that's London. We don't win in London, Mr. 49ers.
I think ultimately, Arron, if you the badness is there, 5 defeats in 6. You know, if you continue it on, it'll be 6 in 7 come Saturday night. And then where does it end?
8,
it's never
8 in 9, 9 in 10.
Exactly. It's not going to end on Wednesday, is it? And it's probably not going to end the following Saturday. So what's the point in continuing it? And more than so, we're delving deeper into the relegation zone and further away from 17th position. What's the point? Everybody can see it. Literally everyone in the whole vicinity of Leeds United can see what's going on and can see what needs to change. And all it has to be is for them to say, right, you're done, Daniel. We've got a new man in. And to be fair to them, Arron, they might be waiting for to cross the I's and dot the T's. So the other way around, dot the I's and cross the T's. On a new manager to come in. That might be what they're waiting to do, and then just completely go bang.
Keep the comments coming in, guys, because we do read them and we'll put them on because I think, you know, when you guys put comments on, it really makes our job easier because there's some fantastic comments coming in. Good evening to Clive, regular to the show. He says, we don't want a new manager to come in straight away.
I really don't care, Clive.
But George, he's got a good point there because you know, if a new, let's say Brendan Rodgers as an example comes in, he needs time to work because, you know, you've got 3 games in the space of 8 days or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. You can't have any impact as a new manager, head coach, whatever you want to call these guys. You can't get your ideas down. You can't get your ideas across because the game's coming too quick. What they should have done is they should have done this in the international break. Yeah. They should have made that decision there. But why don't you, you know, I think it's a great point because ultimately they're going to lose anyway. And if you're going to get some momentum, et cetera, you need to, you know, make that call. So if we sack him now, it'll take them a few days, a few weeks probably to get somebody else in.
I don't think it will. That's what I'm saying. That's what they're waiting to do. They're waiting until it's completely sorted with a new manager to then say, right, Daniel, you're done because the results have been shit. And, you know, and the fans have lost all confidence in you. And when the fans lose confidence in you, I mean, how low must he feel, to be fair, when the whole of the stadium or the whole of one stand where you are, Arron, is screaming at him in the 63rd minute or whatever to say, make a sub. He's the damn manager. I mean, you know what I mean? And he knows as good as anybody that the fans are well against him now, and it must be difficult. But that's your job. You've just got to keep going until you're relieved of your duty. But easy here. Look, Farke said last season was the best in Leeds history. Well, he keeps banging on about that, but that's gone. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah, Ian Barry says Haaland will tear us apart single-handedly, and then Chelsea will batter us, and in shocking form will also batter us badly.
Well,
it's right. It's right.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Estevao, isn't it? Estevao Willian. We know, the world is getting to know him. Obviously, we knew him before. I'm talking Brazil ball for Palmeiras, but he's now showing what he's good at, isn't he, Estevao? And that goal on whenever it was Tuesday was very, very impressive for a young lad. But he's a great player. I'm sure he'll have a bit of a say to say in the game.
Interesting. Yeah, the Southampton did start it off, David, but it also went to the top. It made its way around the ground. Let's be honest, it wasn't just one particular stand; it was everywhere. Everybody was shouting it, and you could clearly see it. Let's have a look here in the comments. This is a great name, Easy B says Farke said last season was the best in Leeds history. It was on paper. You're right there, Mr. Farke, but it was hard to get there.
This, Aaron, who cares? It's gone.
It's gone.
It's great that it happened, but you can't just live off what you've done, last year, 2-3 years ago. You've got to keep evolving, and it's gone stale. Like I said, we've watched Leeds United for years now and followed them, and you can understand when it's getting to the wall of the managers just slamming against it and nothing's happening. But, it needs to change.
But ultimately, and like Clive says here, a new manager bounce needs to be against clubs who aren't the rich six. Those top six, your Cities, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, all those big boys who are coming. Anything you get against any of these teams is a free hit. And it's a bonus. It really is. There's 12 games there, probably 14, 16 games where you're not expected to win, when you look at the top 8, because they're just too good.
Which is fine, but you know what I mean? Would you?
Yeah, but if you want a bounce, and you want some momentum to go into, dare I say, easier fixtures such as Palace, Brentford, Sunderland, those 3 where you want to be targeting points, because the other 3 before that they're just too good.
Yeah, they are.
With 6, I don't want to see Leeds win. I would love to see Leeds win and pick up something, anything. But
at the other time, you kind of wouldn't as well, because you want the manager to go. I mean, it's.
But even if we sacked him now, George, realistically, who's going to come in at this stage? They'll want to wait. They'll want to wait and get the right one in. They've got somebody lined up already. You look at the bookies. Svensson's turned it down. Bo Svensson, or whatever he's called, he's said no. I'm not interested in Leeds United. Steven Gerrard is heavily linked. The 49ers like him. Brendan Rodgers has also been linked. I quite like Jerry likes Cesc Fabregas as well, but I can't see them going, coming to us. For me, I'd throw the book out and try and target somebody in the Premier League, but they won't do that. They'll probably go abroad. But I don't know. It is really difficult, but something has to change.
Of course it does. The manager has to change. We all know this, and I think somebody's made a comment further up. It's Ian, isn't it? It doesn't help when Villa score immediately in the second half and Farke ain't even out to see it. I don't know if he was or not. I don't know, but it's the point where I understand. This is what you were talking about earlier on in the season, Aaron, about individual errors. But I think you've got to see, and rightly so, that it's the manager that is the issue.
Yeah. You look at Brendan Aronson as an example. He was so poor in that second half. I don't know how he stayed on that pitch for as long as he did. At one stage, he won the ball, and he was the goal is there, the goal is here, but he decided, I'll go this way. Yeah. It was bonkers, and I just think whether he wasn't looking up, I don't know. But also, George, there has to be an element of blame to the 49ers here. it all boils back down to recruitment. The recruitment in the summer has been poor, and it is costing us. And that recruitment, which Leeds did, we've spent 100 million quid, but look at the return you've got. You've got some very, very poor players. If you look at that squad there, I don't think Stack is anything which is made out to be. I don't think Calvert-Lewin, I know he hasn't got the service. He's not great. Nemecha, workhorse, but has he blown me away? Not really. You know, Bijol, great for his country, crap for Leeds. You know, Perry, like the goalkeeper, my God, 20 million quid or whatever we paid for that crap. We've been really poor in recruitment. Recruitment.
You look at
has he really set that team alight? No. I
was really disappointed with Okafor on Sunday, mate, because I think Okafor was at fault for the equaliser. Why are you not tracking Marlon, who's just come on? What? You're just lazy, man. Just track back. And the whole defensive situation, Pascal Strout was basically had Mr. Rogers' shirt off his back, and he still managed to get a toe in front of him and scored a goal. So it was individual errors for me on Sunday, but I've gone well past the point of even caring about who's making mistakes. He's all on the manager for me all the time, and you know, it looked easy. But he's not at all happy. You know, no players with any sense would sign for a clown like Farke. And I don't know. I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, Jimbo's asking for me to be the manager. Well, I'll quickly get me badges, Jimbo, and get on there. And you know, your advice falling out with the manager. I wonder.
You won't last 2 minutes, George. It's as simple as that.
No, of course not. I mean, you know, look. I think Villa, you know, and you know, rubbing the hands together. You knew. I don't know. Was the goal in front of you, Arron, or was it the opposite end of the?
Both goals at the south stand
at the other end. So you know, I knew exactly what was going to happen the minute that he gave away that free kick. You knew it was going to go in the net. What was the goalkeeper doing? I've no idea. You know, the man. They're all going on about how good this shot was, but for me, he actually made it even harder than it was for himself to score that goal with that technique. I mean, he could have just bent it round the wall. It would have been easier. Because again, did you see where bloody what's his name was standing? What the fuck? The wall was there, and he stood over here. It's like, go up and just pass the ball into the net.
I know.
What was that about?
It's frustrating. The way they crumbled was just. I've never seen anything like it. It stunk of the playoff semi-final game against Derby. It really did. It was up there for me. How they just completely collapsed. They were on top in that first half. The first half, George, that physicality really getting stuck into them was right. Do you know what? Yeah, I like this. I quite like it.
Yeah.
It was good. You know, they were fine. They were competing. They were making it very physical, very difficult. It was Leeds of the first couple of games of the season. But, you know, Goodmanson getting some good positions as well. He needs a good shout out because I do quite like him as the only summer signing, which has kind of really worked for us. But you're still relying on your old boys. And Tanaka, you know, I know he was taken off for a sub because he was at the risk of a red card. But you're still looking at your old boys, your old championship boys to kind of get you out of the shit, really, if I'm being honest. You know, he threw Pirro on, he threw Tanaka on. I know Tanaka came off, but he took him off for... who did he take him off for? Stack. It's just... I don't know. It just... Joe Rodon was fantastic, by the way, as well. Really rate him. Real workhorse, but I don't know, George. I can't see. You look at that squad now, and I can't see a way Leeds get out of this unless they spend a lot of money in January.
I think Joe's the only one who's really quite steady with his performances. Pretty much,
he's stepped up. Joe Rodon has stepped up from the Championship to the Premier. He really has.
He's a very good player, but other than that, like you said, Arron, it's the same old adage for Farke is, we're losing the game. Let's throw on all the bloody attackers and see what they do. And that was exactly what he did after Villa scored.
But this is the problem. This is the problem, George. The attacking quality which we have is not good enough. So
Of
no matter
course
if you put 10 Pirots on, it's not going to get you a goal. If you
Of
put
course
10
it's not.
Dominic Calvert-Lewins on, it's not going to bloody change the dynamics and things like that. The equaliser which they had was handball. It came off Dominic Calvert-Lewin's hand. You think, oh God, it was just.
I mean, that was ridiculous, wasn't it? Because
he's a professional footballer.
It was just ridiculous. I mean, you know, why can't you get your hand out your way? If it goes off your chest, it's a goal. It doesn't matter. You literally get your hand out the way and it's in, and it's an equaliser. I mean, at that point, I'm sort of thinking, fuck it. I don't even care if we lose at this point because I wanted the manager to go. And, you know, a draw for me, it might as well be a defeat because at this stage...
A draw would have been all right, though, George, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
because it would have been a point gained.
But that's what I mean. You're giving... That's what... Anything now is giving the ownership and Edwards hope that they might turn it around. And we really... The bigger picture is Daniel Farke does not need to be manager of this football club for any longer than he's going to be. So why give them another opportunity to say, actually, we've drawn at Villa against Villa. Oh, what a great result! We beat City. Wow, he must be a great manager then. Well, let's give him a 5-year, 500 million year contract, and you know what I mean. So you almost wanted it to just roll down because you can see that you can see the confidence.
He's at that stage now where I feel he's taking us as far as he can go.
He has.
But in his slight defence, he's taken us as far as he possibly can with the resources he's been given, in my opinion. You look at the crap which we've bought. They haven't been good. The recruitment, Adam Underwood, new into the role. He's been given a chest of money. He's gone Victor Orta style. I'll go into Europe and get some bargains and try and turn him into Premier League players, and it hasn't worked. The recruitment area is poor, and when we do get relegated, because I'm quite confident that we will be relegated, it's going to be a massive rebuild job, if I'm being honest. But like what Ian says there, to be a good goal scorer, you need good supply. But the problem is the attacking players, which Leeds United have, are not good enough. That's the issue.
I agree that a lot of our attacking players aren't good enough. I think we all know that more could have been done in the summer.
They chased bloody Piaccio, whatever he's bloody called. Piaccio. No way coming to Leeds. Oh, yeah, he might come. No way. Waste of time. They put all their eggs in one basket.
Yeah, they did. And I think that's the problem, isn't it? And I think Okafor was, whether he was going to come or not with Piaccio, I don't know. But, you look at it, I think Okafor probably was going to come anyway. But I think you look at it and you think, actually, Clive's rolled it down for us there, hasn't he? 103 million.
Well, let's have a look at these players, George, here, which have come in. This is what Clive says. Okafor, 19 million quid. I don't think he's a 19 million pound player, if I'm being honest. He's not very good, in my opinion. I've been on his case now for a while. I haven't been amazed by him. Stack, same. Not blown away that he's had a free kick, and you think, oh, bloody hell, he's shit hot, he's shit. Bijou, we haven't seen enough of him, but again, you look at what he's coming up against. I think we're defensively better with Strauch and Rodon. Perry, I don't want to talk about him because he's crap. Longstaff, I like Sean Longstaff, but he's very gone under the radar at the moment as Longstaff is obviously injured for the weekend. Goodmanson, bargain that. Justin, 8 million quid. We haven't really seen enough of him. Bornau, God knows where Sebastian is. He's probably, it could be anywhere, that lad.
He's injured again, I think.
We'll never see him. We'll never see him. I tell you, I'm going to make a bet with you, Judge. I bet we never see Sebastian Bornau play for Leeds.
I think we will. I don't
think we will. I think he's got. He will. He's.
What he'll do,
where he's just going to the under 23s and just sit there for a while. The Betcher, again, Calvert-Lewin. 103 million quid spent. It's not enough. We need more. So completely agree with what you're saying there, Clive. And you look at that, George. You break it down. I've broken it down. What do you think?
I mean, look. I mean, if you look at it, me personally, I quite like Okafor. I think he didn't.
Why?
I don't know. I know he didn't have the best of games on Sunday, for me,
How
was at fault.
How has he set that Leeds United team alight?
I think he has that little bit of magic that can just unlock something. You can see it.
I haven't seen it.
You can see it in spurts. It's not been consistent enough, but
no.
I think
and this,
no.
I think if you look in the comments, get people in the comments. Come on, what do you think of Okafor?
I see that Okafor can have his place in this team, and for me, you break it down. I've said to you guys, 4-4-2 with Okafor and Willie Gnonto on the wings. Because you can see him and Willie giving that little bit of flair about the team, a little bit of creativity that it's completely lacking with like Dan James and Jack Harrison, say, on the wings. It's rubbish. But look at Stack. I'm not fully convinced. Biol probably end up going out on loan when we get relegated. It'd be another one of these.
Who's that? Who'll go off?
Biol. We'll get relegated. He's got like a 4-year contract or something. He'll spend his rest of his days on loan in Spain or Italy again or whatever until we go up, and he might come back. Yeah. Perry, not really convinced either, to be fair. Longstaff, similar, but he's had some decent games. Goodmanson, I agree, Arron is probably the best one out of the lot. Justin, haven't really seen much, like you said, now. I don't think we'll see much. I actually quite like Nemecha now. I thought he had a decent game against Villa, really. Got the goal, 2-2, he gave it all. He gave it his all. He's a very limited player. But, we're not playing to his strengths.
The physicality is what he brings, isn't it?
He's very physical. He's a big boy, and he puts his... And he didn't know much about the goal, but he's got to be in there to get it. And, Calvert-Lewin is injury prone and not very good. So it could have been a lot.
I do think Calvert-Lewin is there's a good player in there, but you look at the service which he's getting from Brendan Aronson, and I don't buy it. That's another thing as well. I'm a big advocate of mental health and things like that, but listen, if you mental health is a big thing, and men, in particular, men should talk more and more and more about it. I'm a big advocate for it. But when Daniel Farke plays that mental health card, think about Brendan and his mental health. I'm sorry, he's a professional footballer. He needs to be making better decisions. And I don't use that card very often. I think it's bollocks, which he's saying, because I do think, let's just play mental health. Playing the mental health card does not work for Brendan Aronson. He's just not very good at what he does, in my opinion.
I think personally, Brendan does have his place in the side, but I don't think it's as a winger. It's definitely not. He needs to play as a 10 or just not at all, really.
If you look at Brendan, we paid 25 million quid for him. He should be a 35-40 million pound player now.
Well, he should, but he's clearly not. He's clearly not.
But if you follow that process of developing that talent and enhancing it, blah 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 blah, he should be a 45 million pound player now, and he's nowhere near it.
Well, he's nowhere near it, is he? And he's in and out of his national side, and he's not good enough really for the Premier League level, is he? He's not good enough if we want to keep progressing and going up the Premier League. Really, I think if we go down, or when we go down, more likely, likes of Aronson will probably stay on, won't he? Because let's be honest, who will want him at a higher level? And he already knows Championship. He's already played there one season. He did okay. I mean, Clive is in a little bit of reminiscent dreaming mode here. I mean, there's never we don't want Pablo just because he started to do well in a second division Spanish side for 7 or 8 games. That doesn't make him a Premier League manager, does it? And Liam Cooper then comes in as sporting director once he hangs his boots up. Who knows? I mean,
We could dream. Liam Cooper is currently at Sheffield Wednesday.
I don't think we want to dream that. That's a nightmare situation, Arron, really, isn't it? Just because Pablo was a great, manager, player for us, which he was, doesn't necessarily mean he can come back and be a coach with Berra, does it? I mean,
he's doing all right at the moment.
He's doing okay. It's Spanish second division, mate.
Yeah, Pablo needs to go and learn his trade. That's the best thing for him right now. Go and learn his trade. If he could take them up to La Liga, then let's have a little talk about it. But ultimately, he needs to learn his trade, do his trade over in Spain, and keep doing what he's doing. I just want to touch on what Ian says. £103 million could have bought us 2 or 3 class players. I completely agree.
But you had to do some kind of, reconnection of the squad. You had to rebuild the squad a little bit from the team that came up. You had to go out and buy some players, didn't you? It was just unfortunate. They've messed it up again, really, by the look of it, with the players that they've got in. I mean, it's ridiculous how you can get it so wrong, really. But when you're trying to do it on the cheap, you can't survive in the Premier League. I mean, we need to go out in January and buy at least 2 or 3.
I don't think they've done it on the cheap, George. I think they've just the recruitment has been so poor.
Yeah, the recruitment's been awful.
They haven't had a real plan. If you ask me, I think the plan that they've tried to do is they've tried to buy physical type players who are going to make it very, very difficult for the teams to try and break us down. But we're being caught out. You look at how we're playing at the moment. It's just an open door. That's why I worry over these next 3 games because. And
like Clive says, Ipswich spent 150 million and they were awful. I mean, and they
Look at Sunderland.
Yes, it can work. Right. I mean, Sunderland have gone in with the Nottingham Forest kind of mould where they're just throwing money and buying whoever's breathing and then see who works. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's a better way than trying to pick out crap. Basically, I mean, it's the team is very limited. Our team, particularly with the attacking options,
and that's what worries me.
Defensively, it's falling apart now as well. And so where do you go from here, really? The manager will cop it in the next, God knows however long he will do. Whoever comes in, has got to find some new ideas. But some of the lads just need defreezing basically from the squad, like Sir Willie Nonto and Dan James, like you said, why not play them guys? They're amongst some of our aces in the pack. Why are you not bothering with them? And bin off Brendan Aronson, get a couple of nice players in January, and you can just try and rebuild it and try and do enough to stay up, and then because you don't want to go back down to the Championship. Who survives this team if we go down in the Championship, Aaron? Because a lot of them will jump ship, like I said, the likes of Biol and all the rest, probably try and get loan moves away,
It depends what's in the contract. I think I would hope that the 49ers don't have those stupid clauses.
I'm sure they won't.
They will have something where there will be a release clause in the majority of the new, those new kind of players. I do think there will be, some clause. We don't know what it is. So who stays? I'd love to see Goodmanson, but I think he will get, he'll get scouting. He'll go. Who else? Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the Championship. Would he want to stay there? I can't see him. His wages will be a stumbling block for him, if I'm being honest. He's on one of the biggest high-paid players at Leeds. Who else? Okafor, he won't stay around. So you can see Sean Longstaff hanging around. I can see him doing a bit of a shift in the Championship, but I don't know. We're not at that stage yet, George. We're not at that stage yet.
There's plenty of games to go.
Yeah. One thing, and I know we've kind of ranted for the last 38 minutes or whatever about Farke. But what got me as well as when I got into my car, and I got into my car, put Radio Leeds on, and he's talking. For oh God, here we go. He says that we've got to play teams around us at Ellen Road, and 6 more wins will be enough. Do you agree with Daniel on that one? 6 more wins. 6 wins.
We've won 3. We've won 3 out of 12. Where are those 6 wins coming from?
And a couple of draws as well. He says a couple of draws here and there.
Another 12 games, 24 games in, we've got 6 wins, and then 30, another 12, 36, we've got, another 3, we've got another 3 wins. It's not going to happen. I can't see this happening. Unless he's deluded, man. He's gone and he's just talking crap. He's just talking and talking, bringing up shit all the time because he knows he's done. He knows he's done.
But I think, well, first of all, 6 wins isn't going to be enough to keep you in the Premier League. You got to get to that magic 40. That's the safe kind of guaranteed Premier League safety, isn't it? 40 points. I think only one team have been relegated on anything above 40 in its entire history, but 40 is generally the one that you're looking at. I just don't see where Leeds will pick up any more points, if I'm being honest. You know, you've got Brentford away. Well, it's London. We don't do that. Sunderland away. Well, Sunderland are flying. I know they'll have a lot of half the teams pretty much off to the African Nations Cup, but I don't think that will matter, if I'm being honest, because they've got momentum. And then you go into the new year. I know you've got Manchester United at home, which will be a great game, great occasion, but I don't see them picking up anything from there. They play Liverpool as well on New Year's Day. Who else have we got? Newcastle away. Well, no. Fulham at home. Now you're going into the 17th of January. You could have completely way out of touch by then.
But this is the thing. This is the mindset that you get into when things are going bad, when you can't see the light, because Farke's got
Forest at home.
Let's be honest, Aaron, we will pick up points along the way somewhere, but because we can't see it right now, because the manager and everything's so defeatist and abject, you can't see you can't see where the winds are coming from. But as soon as he gets sacked, the light will come, and you'll say, maybe we have got an opportunity here, because the new manager will put in nice, a new sense of, we're all right. New ideas with this depleted squad, and hopefully going into January, you can then try and entice 2 or 3 players to come and join, because that's exactly what we need. Maybe even 1 or 2 more than that as well. It needs to be a busy January, because being dead in January and doing no business, it won't wash. We will go, and regardless of who the manager is. And I don't want Brendan Rodgers, because Brendan Rodgers plays a similar kind of dead kind of football as Daniel Farke does, and it's just dead boring. And like Peter says, he says criminal missing out on Dyche and Nuno, and we all feel doomed at the moment, don't we?
Good evening, Peter. Yeah, I think a complete great comment there. Missing out on Dyche and Nuno's really hurt us. Clive, you're clearly smoking something funny. You can see something with like Simon Grayson or Sam Allardyce coming in if Farke goes. He's already been. No, Sam Allardyce is knackered now. He's quite happy doing his podcast, Clive.
Yeah, Sam Allardyce will not manage.
He's long gone. So go then, George. We'll move on to Nakatime in a bit, but who do you really want then? So you're very keen for Farke to go. You know who I want to come in. Who do you want to come in and take over the managerial post?
Well, you see, Aaron, and I, and some people say, what you're smoking down there. But I would say, for me, if you're going to ask me right now, who the manager I would like to see is. And I did a video on it, and it wasn't probably because I was up, God knows, and I just got the sort of the idea that this man might be an idea, and I know he would never be, but and Aaron, that I love the Brazilian game and the Brazilian Football League and all the rest of it, and it is a man currently managing in there, and he goes by the name of Fernando Diniz, who is manager of Vasco da Gama. He did manage the Brazilian national side as well a couple of years ago for a short time. Well-renowned, won the Libertadores with Fluminense a couple of years ago as well. Really, really well respected. Similar in the way to Bielsa, you would like him, Aaron. He's got a kind of an out there, outlandish way of playing football, which would be extremely interesting. This is what I think Leeds need, some kind of manager who would mix it up, because Bielsa came in and everybody was like, what the hell, where have they pulled him out from? You know what I mean? In terms of how they managed to pull that. And in the second division as well. I think Leeds need something that would completely bamboozle the opposition to the point where they'd be like, we don't even know how to play against this kind of thing. Revitalize it with real innovative kind of football, and this is kind of what's it called, relationism football, where it's more of not a structure as such. They're playing in sort of clusters, It's a bit of a tiki-taka kind of thing, little flicks, tricks and 1-2s to get space and create the space to get goals and stuff. So,
well, I can't see it personally. I think it's a bit of a gamble, but you never know. I just want to give you the odds on Odds Checker. If you do gamble responsibly.
I would also, just a minute, Aaron, before you do that, I would also like to see something like that, if you're going to go with something like a tried and tested manager, go for something that's a little bit different. But if you're going for like a younger, new age kind of manager, maybe you're looking down at like sort of like Johnny Heitinger or something like this. It was just relieved that Ajax, wasn't he, of his duties, was second to a slot last season. Avalu Arbeloa, former Liverpool player, is managing the Real Madrid B team as well. Plus things like this. Fernando Torres, perhaps Atletico Madrid's sort of youth side second team. So you might go down that, and that's the kind of way that like the Cesc Fabregas kind of situation.
So these are the oddschecker.com. If you do gamble responsibly. Bo Svensson 7-4. Carlos Corberan. Now that's come out of nowhere. 7-4 is joint favourite with Bo up there. I don't know. Brendan Rodgers is 2-1. Gary O'Neill is 12. I know Alfie likes Gary O'Neill at 12-1.
He was. I don't know what he was thinking. Gary O'Neill. I mean,
Marco Rose is 16. Fat Frank is 25-1. And then I like looking at the rank outsiders. Gareth Southgate 33-1. Bielsa coming back. Well, that'll never happen. 33-1. Steven Gerrard, who has been linked already, is 33-1. Mark Robbins 33-1. And Michael Beale 50-1. No idea why he is, but Michael Beale, my God. But Carlos Corberan, he wasn't in the running. I always do keep an eye on it. He's come out of nowhere there.
Yeah, but I think it's just guesswork, Aaron, personally. I think
the bookies know, though. The bookies have some.
I don't know, maybe, but, I think it's Carlos Corberan wouldn't be a good idea, I don't think, really, would it? I mean,
it's a gamble, isn't it?
He got sacked by Valencia. He's all right. He's proven at the Championship level. Are they thinking, well, if we go down, he can come back? Well, why don't you just keep Daniel Farke there if you know you're going to get relegated and come back up? You know what I mean? Marco Silva out of contract to the end of the season, which I don't think. I think that's way too ambitious for our sort of ilk at the moment. I think he's too much of a household name. Really, is Marco Silva now in in the Premier League, or Russell Martin, Peter? I don't know. I mean, Clive said he'll take Carlos Corberan, and I don't know too much.
I don't know. I don't really know about, Carlos. I don't know. I think that, that story's gone, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, I think it has. And Neil says he'd rather keep Farke if Rodgers is in the running as well. I'm of a similar kind of mindset, to be honest. I don't think it'll improve that much. And I think we do need something of a, it's hard to know what they need, isn't it? But I think they just need some new ideas, some new, I think maybe they do need like just something completely different. When we had fucking Paul Heckingbottom, and then they brought in Bielsa, and it was like, wow, like you need something to get the fans back excited, and Bielsa, even though a lot of people at that time probably didn't realise who he was, as soon as you look him up as like, wow, well, how on earth have we managed to get him in the second division? And I think they just need an outlandish kind of appointment, and there's quite a few going on here, to be honest with you, up and down the English leagues. I know in the Championship there's been a couple of strange appointments, and even in Celtic,
it works. It's kind of works.
Middlesbrough, they appointed the young, is he Swedish? The young Swedish lad, and you think what who was suggested that? It's just been
They
so.
look at data, they look at all that. It's very data driven at the moment.
It is, yeah, but I think what on earth? And then at Celtic, they're going for the Columbus Crew manager, and you think, how, who's told who about that? You know what I mean? And you just think, whose idea was that?
Yeah, I just want to jump into the comments. Just Clive says on Carlos, so the basis of what we've seen Carlos does as a coach, we have no idea of these. How tight the 49ers are, he will have to be out of work. Yeah, I can't see them going.
No, I think the manager will be out of the next manager. Yeah,
we need a coach. A true training ground coach. It must be the Hawk. God, he's a PE teacher now. Is David Hockaday?
He is,
a young up-and-coming manager, new ideas rather than someone who's been there and done it.
Yeah. See, this is why I'm sort of thinking, like Johnny Heitinger or something like this, because he's obviously a relatively new manager and he's still learning his trade. He was assistant manager at Liverpool. And you think, he's been at West Ham, I think, or Villa, I think it might have been. I can't remember. One of the two. He's been manager at Ajax, and you think, could he cut his teeth in a Premier League side like Leeds or whatever? And I know Richard is probably, again, having a laugh there, but probably
that would be great. But even with Klopp in charge, I don't think he'd get the best start of Brendan Aronson.
Klopp will never be that, would he? But
I think what we need a coach. I think you've got to get somebody in who's going to make these players better. Right, let's do this, George. All right, Tanaka time this week. George, what's caught your eye?
Well, it's the manager, and he needs to be sacked. You know what I mean?
Something else you've ranted for.
I cannot shake it. I cannot shake it, Aaron. He needs to go. It's his time to go.
Right.
Go away, Daniel Farke. Is the only Tanaka time there has to be today is get rid of the damn manager. And and also, and it just has to be that. I mean, we talk about Red Bull links. What about the man who sacked at Bragantino? Fernando Seabra, long, servant with RB Bragantino. He's got Red Bull links as well. He's out of a job. Where you just think, what's going to happen here? But Tanaka, Tanaka, whatever, play Tanaka more, you damn idiot, Daniel Farke. That's the Tanaka time. Fucking play him more, and get more out of him. Of course, Peter's going on talking about that invading fan, and if we want to talk about that, I mean, however old this man was, 60-odd-year-old man, why are you going to accost somebody else on a football pitch where there's thousands and thousands of cameras? How stupid are you, lad? You know what I mean?
Do you know, it was actually Peter. It was going to be from me, Tanaka time. Listen, nobody should ever do that. It's just stupid. There was just where and how he got past the away dugout to Daniel. I know Daniel said, I didn't see anything about it, but he literally got up to his face. I don't know, it's just stupid.
I'll tell you why I didn't see anything about it. I'll tell you why I didn't see it.
Because it was right.
Because he's fucking blind.
Maybe his hair was in the way. It's just stupid, isn't it? Listen, you don't do it, and then if don't, I know you just don't do it. The consequences is too big. He's going to get a ban order and whatnot. You just don't do it. Just don't do it. Let's have a look here. The fan coach is Sunday League with no release clause. It could be our guy. Anyway.
I mean,
Tanaka, I just want to go through a couple more Tanakas. Tanaka time here. Ironically, Tanaka will get more game time with Sean and Anton out, says Clive. And another Jimbo. Jimbo's here. My Tanaka time is Tanaka. Did you see him snap that player's leg when he was playing for Japan? Yeah, it was pretty bad, that. So Tanaka's getting a little bit of I don't know, bit of limelight. Tanaka time next week. We'll be back. So, George, let's get into it then. Leeds United's next game in the Premier League is Manchester City away at the Etihad. Oh, we've got to do it because we do it all the time. We've got to think about what the predictions are, and I don't really want to know, but we have to do it because it's what we do. What are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we're almost, like I said, we don't want a Leeds United loss, but I think when it comes to it, Aaron, we're going to have to accept that Leeds are going to lose this one. And I think we're all quite happy to take a big scoreline as a defeat if it means the manager needs to go. And every single time, Jimbo's saying 6.
Can't afford our goal difference. Can't be hammered.
I'm saying I think it'll be 10-0. To Man City, and I'm just saying because, and I'd hope at that point they would say, "That's it. We're not waiting any longer."
In the table.
We're going to get slapped. We're going to get it, because Haaland obviously enjoys Leeds, doesn't he? Born in Leeds and all sorts. He doesn't give any grace to Leeds when it's on the football pitch. And I think and I couldn't believe this when I looked at it earlier. He scored 14 goals this season. The next one down to him on the scoring charts has 1. I mean, it's incredible. So in essence, Aaron, if we can somehow, if the Sunday League level players like Pascal Struijk and whoever else, Jayden fucking Bogle, who's been awful for like the last couple of months, unfortunately. Players like that, and Sunday League level goalkeeper like Lucas Perry and go. How on earth if they can somehow manage to keep Haaland quiet, then maybe, I hate to say this in a way, but maybe we do have an opportunity to potentially drag something out. Do I think would I be happy? Obviously, yes. But ultimately, I'm strongly in the camp of any win now will just delay the obvious anytime. And that will be, of course, like we spoke beforehand, Aaron, it'll be about it's a Jesse at Anfield moment if we beat them at the Etihad on Saturday.
I do not have any optimism for this game. I have zero. In fact, it's in negative numbers, if I'm being honest, -10, in terms of, if I'm going to put it on a Likert scale. But, I'm looking at the comments which are coming in. 6-0, says Jimbo. I presume that's to Manchester City. Haaland, probably all of them. Richard says 4-0. Jimbo says Haaland to score 5. Bogle has screwed up his fantasy team. Mamouche, the most expensive backup striker in Premier League history. Well, listen, you'd have a field day against Leeds.
I think all of them will, mate. I think
they all will.
You look at, but you do look at Man City, and they're not even that. They're not that. They're
in that transition, aren't they? They're in a transition.
They're not as good as what they were, and I think I watched them against Newcastle last week, and they weren't that good. And I think like if you can get at them, they can be got at if you apply yourself properly.
But this is the big but. We don't have the quality to compete with them.
No,
the problem here with Manchester City is this, and we saw this with Spurs at home. When you're coming up against these big boys, Arsenal as well away, they are 4, 5, 6 passes ahead of you.
Yeah, they're a lot.
That's the level that they are at. It's up in. It's world class.
Yeah.
These teams which come up, that they are, and they're 5, 6, 7 passes ahead of you. You can't even scramble 4 before they're onto you, and you won't even get out your own half. I just feel like what Jimbo says, I'll be going to be watching the Formula 1 and rugby this weekend. Mark, he's in a mighty Leeds. Here he is. Fat must go. Fat must go. We agree. But for me, I think this is going to be really difficult. I can see this. I'm going to go one more, George. I think this is going to be a record defeat for Leeds in the Premier League. And I think it's going to be a record broken in the Premier League. I think Manchester City, unfortunately, are going to win 12-0.
Wow, I mean, that is incredible. I mean,
12-0. It's going to break records in the Premier League.
I don't know what our longest, it's probably 7-0, isn't it, against City a few years ago. But, City, the problem is, The problem is with them. Once they get one, if they're in the mood, they can just fly them past you.
And that's why I'm saying to Av, I know you think Arron's been ridiculous here, but I'm not, because they've had 2 defeats on the bounce. Whoever, whether it would have been Leeds, Burnley, Sunderland, Manchester United, anybody who was going to come up against Manchester City next is going to get a hiding, because they will be in the mood to put their season right. And I know, I'm not on the vodka and Red Bull. I wish I were.
I think they'll be. I think they'll be well. They'll be well up for putting us to the sword, because they'll think we're there for the taking. I agree. Yeah. But I think 12-0. That's a bit ambitious, really.
It isn't when they're in the mood. The thing is, though, we'll collapse. What we will do is, this is how we'll set up. We'll play defend. It'll just be, we will not be in their half whatsoever. No. It'll be just constant pressure. Haaland's going to have a field there. He's going to think he's lucky stars, because he's going to get a massive bonus on Saturday. He's going to be getting a bonus and a half.
Well, that's it. It's because it's all about goal bonuses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's going to get. Oh, do you know what? He's going to get himself a nice new motor after.
He could probably get 2 or 3, couldn't he? If it's 12, I assume he might get at least 6 or 7 of those goals.
I know the budget's been on this year, but I'll tell you what, Rachel Reeves, you want to tax him? You want to just tax him when he plays Leeds? Tax him, take all his earnings, take his bonuses, because I'll tell you what, he's going to be sky high. He could sort the bloody, tax him. Anyway, but yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's not going to be good. I will watch it, but I'll just watch it and
weep
and just weep and have a beverage or 2. Just 3 o'clock on a Saturday. But listen, I do hope that Leeds give something to the travelling fans, because the travelling fans deserve a performance from Leeds, especially away from home. I do hope that they turn up and give them some form of a game, but I'm just not optimistic.
I think we went to City at the end of the season. We got relegated with Sam Allardyce, Arron, and this was very much the sort of forecast for this game. Your batterings, and in the end, we only came out with a 2-1 defeat, and I think we actually played quite well that day. But yeah, I mean, this is obviously, there's a lot more to play for in our turn. We're not even anywhere near relegation now. It's very much salvageable.
Yeah. I just want to touch on these. Yeah. Mighty Leeds says 5 at the back and whatever past that. Listen, we won't be. It'll be 10 at the back for Leeds. Nemetcha's going to be playing centre half. 1-0 first half, 5-0 second half. Our second half performances are a mess, says Richard.
Yeah,
we get taxed. No, we don't earn from this. We just do it for fun. Right, Jimbo and everybody else who's listened to us, and goodbye, Daniel. Thank you to everybody who's listened. Don't forget to give us a share, give us a like, and give us a subscribe. Me and Jerry will be back. I don't even want to say it, but I have to say it. Jerry and I will be reflecting on the cricket score. I know the Ashes is topical at the moment, but it is going to be a cricket score with this one on Saturday. So me and Jerry will be back giving a match reaction to the dreadful performance. I'm just getting it in there now. Even if Man City, what's the odds of Leeds winning? Farke's off. Leeds won't win. They won't win. It's crazy. So yeah, we started at 6:30, so you can have to go back and catch up on us. Right, goodbye, Daniel. Goodbye, George. I enjoy your weekend. I can't wait for your WhatsApp messages on Saturday. I really, really can't. I might have to take some screenshots and put them on for everybody to read when you put that into the old LS11 group, which you do, which I think is hilarious. And we might have to share some of these messages with the gang who are watching us. So yeah, I can't wait for that. In fact, I will do that because you will be in self-destruct mode.
Yeah, probably, as always.
Right. Thank you to everybody who's listened and watched. And don't forget as well, give us a like, subscribe, and all that nonsense. And we will see you, regrettably, next week for a debrief.
See you next week.
See you later, guys.